2 minutes before time, just because some of our members are still enjoying the nice refreshments, and I thought something different we made. So let them enjoy it. So that, but I'll take this opportunity to share with you what's happening in MMA next few weeks, so that if you have missed it in your inbox, you don't miss this item, event which you are organizing exclusively for your benefit. One on the 15th of May, I really urge upon you not to be missed even. Electoral reforms, bane or boon. And we have got outstanding speakers, including Tiloshin Sastry, he is former Dean of Indian Institute of Management, Bangalore, and also Chairman of Association for Democratic Reforms. You know, ADI is the one which went to the Supreme Court, got the electoral bonds. Ultimately, they won, and Supreme Court has to suspend the electoral bonds. And he's the man who began this thought, is Tiloshin Sastry. And also, we are getting T.S. Krishnamurthy, former Chief Election Commissioner. We are also getting a senior constitutional lawyer. We have returned a couple of them. May is a busy month for lawyers because that's the time they rest actually. So hopefully somebody will come. This is happening on 15th of May. We are given a backup. Then on 23rd of May, again we have Read and Grow. What got you here will not get you there. It's a very excellent book, and especially we do it for MBA students. Do come. We got a excellent panel. Sangeeta Sumesh, Saurabh Kumar and Venu Prakash Menon, 3 outstanding panelists. Then we are on 5th of May is a World Environment Day, and we are doing an event on protecting our earth, fighting desertification and building resilience. Again, we have an outstanding panel. The subject nobody should miss, because today what we are living it for the future generation is what really they are going to think, and we are really overusing it. But the expert will come and share with you what's happening on the World Earth Day. On 7th of June, again a great event, Embrace the Future, the Soft Science of Business Transformation. Again, we have an outstanding panel, R. Sheshai, Chairman of Asian Paints Limited. We also have Mr. R. Gopalakrishnan, he is a corporate advisor and former executive director of Tata Sons. We also have Arish Bhattacharya, he is an author, management consultant, teacher, and former senior vice president of Unilever. So you will really have a feast of knowledge on the subject which we are going to be discussing. Then on 17th of June, we have again doing an event on real estate, because there are so many reforms have come. I keep reading in the newspaper, many people getting into trouble, not really understanding what the RERA requirement, what is one's own requirement. So we have a team of people who will be sharing their insights, navigating changes in emerging trends, real estate regulation, and also impact on the industry. Aarti Lakshminarayan is from Shardul Amarchand. She'll be coming and sharing the insights with us, and along with me, we're also trying to get the chairman of RERA Advisory Council and number of them, RERA, and it will be a very, very interesting event. Now, coming to today's event, it's time to start now. Cyber resilience for infrastructure and financial sector. Anything on cyber, I don't know. Tell you, because we've got 3 outstanding experts who will be sharing their insights. When I was offered, I must thank the Distinguished Chief Guest for this evening, Mr. Ansaraj Verma, and he's also a member of the Managing Committee. When he suggested that this event will be good, straight away I took the opportunity. That's why you're all here, and we have thousands of you are watching it online. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hand together to welcome the distinguished panel for this evening. Mr. Ansaraj Verma, IAS, Additional Chief Secretary, Chairman, Managing Director of Tamilnadu Industrial Investment Corporation. We have Mr. Vittal Raj, founder, partner of Kumar Raj, Chartered Accountant, another expert in the cybersecurity area. Sagar, Sagar is a scientist E from CDAC, Chennai. We have Mr. Suresh Raman, he is past president MMA, vice president and regional leader of Tata. May I request dignity, please take your place on the dais, sir. I also acknowledge the presence of Mr. Mali Mahalingam, popularly known as Mali, President of MMA, is here with us, and he is the one who supports us to do so many things. In fact, I can say he's adrenaline which pumps us to do so many things for you. Warm welcome to you, Mr. Mali. We have Suresh Raman, past President of MMA, Vice President, Regional Head of Tata Consulting Service. Let me have the privilege of briefly introducing Mr. Suresh Raman. He's again a great supporter. In fact, I had a wonderful time when he was the President. He's TCS Chennai is one of the largest, employing more than 98,000 people there are working under him there, and he's managing 98,000 people. I really don't know who is managing or who is managing. With 3 decades of experience in management, consulting, and IT, focus on customer infrastructure, sustainability, and cost optimization. A BITS Pilani graduate, is on the done advisory roles of many government, emphasizing his commitment to the industry development and collaboration. I now request Mr. Suresh Rama to deliver his opening remarks and the formal welcome. Mr. Suresh Rama.
Good evening to all of you. It's indeed my pleasure to deliver this welcome address at this unique MMA event, I should say, on the theme Challenges and Opportunities in Cyber Resilience for Infrastructure and Financial Sector. I consider it a rare and special honor this evening to welcome Mr. Ansraj Verma, IAS, Additional Chief Secretary, Chairman and Managing Director, the Tamilnadu Industrial Investment Corporation, TIIC, Mr. R. Vittal, Founder Partner, Kumar and Raj Chartered Accountants, Mr. Sagar Srivastava, Scientist C and Joint Director, CDAC, Chennai. I take this opportunity to welcome all the delegates who have joined us this evening, guests and members of MMA from all over Tamil Nadu and Pondicherry, guests of partner organizations, and the large number of participants from all over the country who have joined us online. For the benefit of our guests and invitees from various organizations, it gives me immense pleasure in sharing that MMA, which was established in 1956, has evolved today as the largest management association in the country, with over 8,000 members spread across 10 chapters in Tamil Nadu and Pondicherry. MMA has been awarded the best management association in the country for 14 times in a row. When Group Captain asked me if I can deliver this welcome address for this session, I immediately agreed. One, I'm not the main speaker. Also I came to know the experts identified for the session. Mr. Ansraj Verma, my senior in BITS Pilani, and a good friend, I should say, and very friend of the industry. Mr. Vittal Raj, and I've been interacting regularly at some of the other industry forums as well. Mr. Sagar Srivastava, although I'm meeting him for the first time, I think the profile, and that is from CDAC, speaks for itself. How many of you have heard the word fire sale in cyber security? I think if you watched movies, you will know this. How many of you have seen the movie Live or Die Hard? Die Hard 4. I think the movie shows how an all-out cyber war attack disables the key infrastructure of the American economy, including media. The TV gets hacked, and the power systems, and the only power, I think the power stations which survived or which was trying to survive was not fully automated. So probably you can talk about it. Traffic signals, vulnerability exposed to the financial systems as well. What was shown was a systemic 3-stage attack on the American computing infrastructure. The message is resilience to cyber attacks is essential to safeguard IT systems, the critical infrastructure, business processes, organizations and societies. Protecting the user's assets is a primary goal of cyber security in the financial sector as well, and also in the infrastructure development sector. Cyber attacks are not a question of if, but when. For me, resilience is all about RRR, it's not the movie, response to the attack, recovery from the attack, and more importantly, resolution, long-term resolution for the attack. Cybersecurity has 3 pillars: confidentiality, integrity, and availability. If any of these are compromised, cybersecurity is compromised. Technological innovation is amplifying the cyber risks as well. AI-generated deepfakes, I think all of you are hearing every day now. Quantum computers can break RSA, the 2-factor authentication. In fact, the World Economic Forum lists cybersecurity as the 4th most risk with severe impact in the next couple of years. And misinformation and disinformation are the top most impactful risk. And both these risks feature in the top 10 risks with most severe impact in the next decade. In fact, I was looking at 2000, current, 4th rank, and then by 2030, the cyber risks go to 8. It's not because some other risks are coming in, but the environment risks are actually overtaking the cyber risk. So there is a different set of issues which are going to happen for us. I'm sure the seminar will bring out a number of insights on emerging technologies which offer novel avenues for enhancing cyber resilience, emphasizing the importance of cross-sector partnerships, information sharing, and regulatory frameworks in fostering a resilient cyber ecosystem. I'm sure the participants would have a lot of takeaways from these deliberations today. I also take this opportunity to welcome past presidents of MMA, my colleagues from the management committee, members of MMA, distinguished invitees, management student members who have joined us at MMA, and viewers from all over the globe watching this program live on YouTube and MMA live webinar as well. Wishing you all a great and enriching evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Suresh. I want to make a few more inputs. All audience who are watching this program live on our social media platform, if you have any questions, the number flashed on your screen, please do share your questions. If you have got any question addressed to specific to the speaker, please do mention so that we place all the questions before the distinguished speaker. They agree to respond to all your questions. Only the request is please restrict your question to the theme what being discussed today. And the format of the event is we are going to request our chief guest to deliver the keynote address, followed by each of the speakers. Vittal and Sagar will share their insights for a moment. Thereafter, there will be a conversation amongst them, and I request Vittal Raj will be leading the conversation. Then we'll answer all the questions. We got almost even carrying on till about 7:30. So you got any questions? Here are the question slips, the pen available. You can write your questions so that it will be placed before the distinguished speakers. Before I call upon Sansraj Verma and other speakers to address the gathering, let me have the privilege of introducing a distinguished panel for this evening. Sansraj Verma, IAS, is served as Additional Chief Secretary and Chairman Managing Director of Tamilnadu Industrial Investment Corporation Limited, with rich background in governance and economic development in Tamil Nadu, fostering investment and supporting business expansions. His leadership prowess and strategic vision propel TIIC towards its mission of facilitating industrial growth and infrastructure development in the region. You know why Tamil Nadu is forefront of industrial growth amongst all the states. And big round of applause, Mr. Sansraj Verma, for joining us this evening and also facilitating this event this evening. Let me have the privilege of introducing my dear friend and real professional, Mr. Vittal Raj. He is a partner of Kumar and Raj Chartered Accountants, specializes in technology risk assurance and cyber security with over 2 decades of experience across various industry verticals. Leading the technology risk practices, he also serves on the RBI Standing Committee of Cyber Security and IT Examination and IRDA Information Security Group, a chartered accountant with certification in cyber security, audit and technology risk management. Vittal is also recognized for his exceptional contribution, including serving on the International Board of ISACA, USA, and receiving the President's Award, passionate about crypto and closely monitors in evolving landscape. Very pleasure to have you with us, Mr. Vittal. We have Sagar Srivastava. He is a scientist CDAC, Chennai, and he's a seasoned open source evangelist and also over 15 years of experience in free and open source of software. Specializing in embedded systems, he has contributed to Linux kernel distributions, providing support to the government organizations and development custom solution to secure applications, optimizing workflows for enhancing the operational efficiency in strategic zone. You know, ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause to the distinguished panel for this evening. Really an outstanding panel. I'm quite sure we'll be having a feast of our time and a lot of inputs and kindle your thought process. I now request Mr. Sansraj Verma, Chief Guest for this evening, deliver his keynote address. Mr. Sansraj Verma. 15 minutes.
Time will not be. Okay, then come. 20 minutes. Yeah, 20 minutes, come. President MMA, Group Captain Vijay Kumar, my fellow panelists, Vittal Raj, Sagar Srivastava, distinguished members of the audience, captain of industry, friends, I stand before you not as a bureaucrat, but as a practitioner of cyber security. I have been the IT Secretary Government of Tamil Nadu. I am a certified National Cyber Security Scholar from ISAC. Currently, I head the financial institution, the Tamil Nadu Industrial Investment Corporation, where we are building cyber security as a key foundation of our operational strategy. I will speak more about strategy, and my fellow panelists will speak out the operational details. We live in a VUCA world. We are facing constant volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. The three great risks which we as individuals, as society, organizations, and nations face are sustainability, as Suresh was mentioning, the climate change and the ESG risks. The second risk is cyber security, and third risk is geopolitical risks. Today's discussion is about cyber security, cyber resilience for critical infrastructure. Coming to strategy, let me start with a quote of Sun Tzu, the famous Chinese general. He says, there is a clear distinction between strategy and tactics. Tactics short-term ad hoc. Strategy is long-term with a vision. He says, if you have only strategy, no tactics, it's only a slow route to victory. But if you do not have a strategy and only tactics, it's a sure route to defeat. And more often than not, as organizations, we resort to tactics for cyber security. What we need is strategy. The US government's national cyber security document is not called cyber security policy, it's called cyber security strategy. It's got 5 pillars. In the 5 pillars, it's got 25 strategic objectives. I'll quote a few of the objectives from the 5 pillars. The 5 pillars are building and protecting cyber resilience for the critical infrastructure, getting the market forces to assist the government agencies in cyber security, building a resilient future, forging alliances, and thwarting the state actors or the threats which threaten the critical infrastructure of a nation. Within this, what is of interest to us today? Some of them sub-strategic objectives are critical infrastructure. Now, my take is that the top 5 critical infrastructures are energy, telecom, financial systems, healthcare, and manufacturing. We need to secure these critical infrastructures as a part of a strategy for national security. Today, security of critical infrastructure is an integral part of national security, and each of us is an important part of the cog. We are all cyber warriors who need to be sensitized, to be made aware of our respective roles in this collective endeavor of national security, cyber resilience. Friends, at the end of the day, it is humans who will decide whether an individual, society, organization, nation is resilient or not on the cyber front. Paradox will apply here. 80-20. Technology role is only 20%. 80% is the human dimension. And unless we understand the human psychology, human dimension, we will go wrong. Technology is not the panacea, not the silver bullet. Investing only on technology without factoring in the human dimension is a sure recipe for failure. Let me take you to history, because history teaches a lot of lessons. How the various historical incidents have occurred on account of the human failure or the human dimension. Let's start with the Battle of Troy. You heard of the story? Heard of the famous concept of Trojan horse? It has come from this battle. Prince Paris eloped with Helen of Troy. The Greeks came to Troy to take her back. The huge battle there, but they could not breach the fortress of Troy. The very wily general of the Greeks, Odysseus, as mentioned in the Odysseus Iliad, Homer's book, he built the Trojan horse, a wooden horse, left as the gift at the gates of Troy. Now, the collective failure by the entire Troy, they thought, as the same systems is what you said is what you get, is not happened, and they took the horse inside the city of Troy. Again, a Trojan horse. In the night, Odysseus and a team of soldiers came out, opened the gates, and conquered Troy. Classic human example failure. Second, the Great Wall of China. The great Mongol emperor Genghis Khan has mentioned, the wall is just static. It means nothing to me. It is only as strong as the people manning the wall. It's only as strong as the integrity, the resilience, the resourcefulness, the bravery of the soldiers manning the wall. Take the analogy that the wall is your technology, but the people manning the wall are the key in that securing your fortress or your empire. Come to 1453, Constantinople. The Ottoman Turks tried their best several times to conquer this imperial fortress, which is called Istanbul today. They were able to do it only because someone by complacency, carelessness, or insider job left one of the gates open and they entered that. Rest is history. Again, human dimension. You heard of Titanic, the sinking of Titanic. See, there are illustrations which tell us how human dimensions are relevant to security. Titanic was vouched as unsinkable ship, yet it sank in its maiden voyage, 1911. Why? There were warnings that icebergs were there, but they locked the binoculars and could not find the key for the lookout for the icebergs. Mistake one. Second, when the iceberg came ahead, had the Titanic hit the iceberg head on, nothing would have happened. What mistake they did? They turned the ship, and the steep edges of the iceberg cut each of the compartments. Because each compartment, again from cyber security, any system you must have compartmentalization. So that if there is an attack, at least only one compartment will go down, you can recover. Not the full system will go down. It will not be a class break. This happened to Titanic. As veering away from the iceberg, the sharp edges of the iceberg kept hitting the compound, cut the weapons, and the entire ship sank. The biggest tragedy at sea of civil shipping. Again, human element. At the end of the day, the human element is extremely crucial. Our cyber security systems should maximize the strength of a human being. At the same time, minimize his vulnerabilities also. There's always a chance of a password failure, insider job. You need to have checks and balances. Take the example of Barings Bank. The oldest bank, commercial bank of Britain. One single currency trader, Nick Nielsen, 1995. He sank it by doing those currency trades, and this caused a loss of 800 British pounds. This bank was sold for £1. Now come to the recent attacks in history of cyber security. Let's take SolarWinds Orion in US, documented case of cyber security in which a trusted partner, the SolarWinds, they used to supply the networking tools and software to the major companies, federal agencies in the US. Sunburst was a malware, a malicious malware. It was infected It was an APT, Advanced Persistent Threats. Through the sunburst, it went to the platforms supplied by Sun Orient to various agencies, about 30,000 organizations, and multiple government agencies in the US were infected by this. One of the major disasters of cybersecurity. Now let's come to NotPetya. Friends, you know the Ukraine war that is going on. In 2014, before Russia attacked Crimea and annexed Crimea, there was a huge attack on the telecom infrastructure of Ukraine. Before an enemy attacks a nation today, they will cripple our critical infrastructure and then move in. So the battles to secure the nation's frontier, nation's border, nation's security are going to be fought both on the border, physical border of the nation, as well as on the cyber frontier. NotPetya in 2017, Petya is a ransomware attack, but NotPetya was a very malicious attack on the Ukraine banking financial system. Through that, it spread to various organizations, Maersk Shipping Line, because one of the computers of Maersk Shipping Line was at port of Odessa. There they got infected. Through that, the entire logistics of Maersk Shipping was impacted. Manufacturing was impacted. NotPetya's ransomware attack is the single most documented, most deadly attack in the history of cyber attacks. Cumulative losses about 10 billion plus. So cyber attacks are no longer on a small scale, and people analyzing, the cybersecurity experts analyzing this attack say that we can expect a much more NotPetya attack in days to come. The latest attack, the Colonial Pipeline attack in 2021, which led to a national emergency declaration by President Joe Biden in US. What is the attack? What was the vulnerability? A single password. One of the employees reused the password. And reusing of passwords is one of very common human fallacies, human error that happens. With this one single pipeline, the entire 5,000 kilometers of pipeline supplying gasoline for the airplanes, petrol for the vehicles, to the ransomware attack, and they had to pay to get the data back. Again, you see all these, it is human element. Why I'm stressing human element, friends? A system is only as strong as the weakest link. And the weakest link is dynamic. Cyber security is not static. You just can't buy a product from any company, say Kaspersky, any company, and say, I bought the product, I'm secure. No. Cyber security is constantly evolving. It's a process, not a product. And it is no longer a domain of the CTO or the CISOs. It is the domain of the boards now today. It is a mainstream agenda of the boards. Boards of the companies have to set the agenda, set up committees for cyber security supervision, and ensure that their organizations are resilient. Most incidents of cyber security are not reported. Why? Because of the reputational loss. Any organization that suffers a cyber security hit has got three challenges to face. Regulatory risk, you have financial loss and loss of reputation. And case studies show that any organization hit by cyber security will lose business. Today's cyber resilience for critical infrastructure is as much as a warfare on similar lines. Military strategy is about the territorial gains. Business strategy is about market shares. And the same technologies, same analogies apply there. Now coming to the Indian infrastructure, let me tell you, friends. As IT Secretary, I have dealt with the entire gamut of the Operational Command India. You must know this. We have the NSA, the National Security Advisor. Under him, we have the National Cyber Security Coordinator. We have the CERT in India, Computer Emergency Response Team. That's the regulator that's supposed to step in first. We have the CDAC. We have Sagar Srivastava is there. We have the National Center for Critical Information Infrastructure Protection Center is there. And we have the SETS, Society for Electronic Transactions. In fact, I was on the governing council of SETS. SETS is based in Germany in Chennai. SETS works on the next domain of quantum computing and cryptology. Now coming to some of the strategic visions of the US policy strategy paper, which were relevant for India today. First is the energy infrastructure. It says we will secure our clean future, energy future. Today, with green energy coming in a very big way, there is distributed distribution of energy, friends. And this I'm telling you as the former chairman of the power utility TIIC Tamilnadu. Our grid frequency has to operate only in a particular frequency, 49.5 hertz to 50.5 hertz. Any cyber attack, if it attacks our grid, it's gone. Our trains will stop. Everything will come down. So resilient systems are there, for which energy sector is extremely, extremely important. Second is manufacturing. Today we talk of Industry 4.0, Industry 5.0. India is poised to be the hub for advanced manufacturing, the key link in the global supply chains. With the new sensors, IoT coming to play, everything is linked to the internet. PLCs are there. And in this context, the seminal movement of cyber security critical infrastructure was to next. Virus in 2010, it was inserted in the Iranian systems through a Windows operating system, targeting particularly the Siemens PLCs, which were operating the centrifuges of the NADS, Iranian nuclear power reactors. The centrifuges went off of control with this virus and entire thing collapsed. This is the seminal movement. Just imagine, Indian manufacturing is part of the global supply chains. We supply auto components. We supply a number of products to the world chain. If the IoT of the PLCs are compromised for an auto company and the paint thickness changes or the dimension of the component changes, imagine the impact that will have on the reputation of the nation, the distant supply chains. So securing manufacturing is extremely, extremely important as a part of critical infrastructure protection. Next is we need to invest in quantum computing. The base of today's cyber security is resilience and cryptology. Quantum computing will disrupt the entire cryptology as we know today. That is where all the nations are investing very heavily in quantum computing, and the next generation of cryptology, cryptography, sets us on the frontier in this. We need to build a very, very resilient cyber workforce. Friends, cyber security is one domain that will open up huge opportunities for our youth. Today, India, with a median age of 27 years, how do we create jobs for them? And cyber security is going to be a very, very important role. A lot of GCCs are there. There is a huge shortage of skills of cyber security professionals. So all companies, all stakeholders, it needs a collective partnerships for creating this cyber security workforce. And we need to build partnerships across all verticals, all domains, all experts. Now friends, at the organization level, coming to cyber security, few principles you must follow Because I'm not talking any technology, I'm just talking very, very generic strategic principles. First, look at the assets. What are the assets you want to secure? What are your assets? Look what you want to secure them. What is the technology you're going to use for them? The technology you're going to use for securing them, will it create any further complications? Because technology is not the panacea. And the last point is, you must have a trade-off. All organizations have a trade-off. Do not be penny wise, pound foolish in terms of spending on cyber security. This is your most critical component for sustainability and success in the future. Spend wisely on that with the guidance of your boards. Now, once you have the systems, any organization, what are the what principles you have to follow? First, you must follow is, you must know the ecosystem. That is where partnerships among stakeholders is extremely important. We should know what are the current threats in the system. Often organizations do not share, they've been attacked. And unless you share this information, how will you find solutions and countermeasures? I come back to Sun Tzu again on part of strategy. He says, if you know yourself, you are the defender, you know the enemy, the attacker, then even in 100 battles, there is no danger. If you know yourself and not the attacker, then for every victory there is one loss. And if you don't know your own self and the attacker, it's a sure defeat. From that strategy, you must know first of all your employees. You must know the attackers. As group captain will endorse, in the physical warfare, the ratio of attackers to the defenders is always 1:3. For every one defender, there will be 3 attackers. This is a known fact, visible to our naked eye. But today we are grossly outnumbered. Some statistics say, today, for every defender of a system, there are 50 attackers. Today, ransomware in combination with cryptology, the dark web, the onion router, a huge danger for all of us, a huge danger for our critical infrastructure. Imagine some of institutions, critical institutions of healthcare are hacked, where sensitive data for leadership is leaked out. It's a big national threat. So ransomware as a service, criminals as a service is hugely rampant. We need to be educated. It cannot be business as usual. It cannot be a job of the CISO. Every employee has to be sensitized. And again here, you need to have depth in defense. Few principles they follow. You need to have multiple options. Do not rely on a single option for defense, for cyber security defense. I was giving the analogy of a castle. In the medieval times, every castle fort had a moat around it of water, moat and then a wall. Multiple combinations should be there. But you need to have depth in defense, extremely important. You need to have compartmentalization so that there is no class break. If one system comes down, the other systems are able to be resilient and recover back. You need again to understand the psychology, motivations of your employees. You need to practice zero trust of humans and devices. That is extremely important. You just cannot trust. You need to have multi-factor authentication. These are very simple operations which apply both in the physical world, in warfare and cybersecurity world. Organizations need to start teaching every employee of cybersecurity. As mentioning, you are only as strong as your weakest link. The other day I was in the gift city in Ahmedabad. I happened to see the SOC of the National Stock Exchange. Friends, it's amazing. Real time, 24/7, non-stop attacks are on. As they say, there are only two kinds of organizations, one who have been hacked and one who don't know they've been hacked. Everything connected to internet can be hacked. And today, everyone is connected to the internet, which means all organizations are vulnerable to a cyber attack, cyber security. Friends, in this VUCA world, this is a mandate for all of us. We need to be proactive, not reactive. We need to collectively share knowledge, wisdom, partner with the all key stakeholders. As IT secretary, we had a very close working relationship with CDAC. We took out the first cyber security policy of Tamilnadu in 2020. I am told they are working for a next version 2.0. We created the CSA, Cyber Security Architecture of Tamil Nadu. We built the SOC. We created CISOs for every organizations. And now they're building on that. So this is the kind of partnerships we are there. We partner with SETs, again on cryptology, training of the employees. Now October month used to be the cyber security month. Train them, sensitize the workforce. They say the key for cyber security is the human element. So friends, today is a clear and present danger for all of us. We cannot wish it away. In today's interconnected world of internet, world of the dark web, work of the IoT, sensors everywhere, we are interconnected, we are part of the global supply chains. We need to take cyber security an extremely important pillar of business strategy. And every one of us is an important part of the cog. Overall endeavor to make India cyber secure, to make India a dominant force in manufacturing so that India can take its pride of place in the community of nations as a confident cyber secure nation for which the models from Tamil Nadu, the thought leadership of Tamil Nadu, the technical leadership of Tamil Nadu will pave the way. Friends, for which I seek your partnerships and let's collectively make India cyber secure. Thank you and good day.
Good evening to you all. I think to say that it was a brilliant speech is an understatement, because I think he almost covered every facet of cybersecurity from a very unexpected quarter of somebody coming as a CMD of tech. And I think this was absolutely magnificent, we must say that, because I, as a security professional, I have my colleagues here, and I can tell you that there's a very well organized thought process to deliver what's important for today, and both at the center level, at the state level, at the individual level, which he pointed out several times. I think he has really conveyed the message. I'm not sure if I have much to talk after him, but maybe I'll just add a couple of points, sir, with your permission, Mr. Sagar. So about the challenges and opportunities, he did spoke, about the various challenges and opportunities. First of all, let's please understand, we always read about somebody getting hacked, yes, or somebody going into a deep fake attack. I'm sure you know what is a deep fake. Yes, anybody found your friend calling on WhatsApp asking for money, video call? Yeah, that's what happened with a couple of people. One gentleman in Trivandrum, he was a retired employee from the government, and he has his batchmate, and he received a call from his batchmate on WhatsApp. You have a video of your friend which is coming on WhatsApp, and he's saying, typical the way that he would speak, and saying, I'm caught in an airport or whatever, and send me some money because these guys don't seem to be letting me off. And this is all on video, it is not just audio, okay? And that's where this gentleman almost gave away and he was going to send, and that's where suddenly he thought of calling his friend up, which was a brilliant thought, I would think. And he simply called him up and he said, hope you are okay. His friend said, "What's the problem with me? I'm perfectly fine." "So where are you?" "I am at home." So that is where he woke up. Fortunate. Otherwise, he would have transferred 40,000 rupees immediately. I think Mr. Verma very clearly pointed out the human factor, which is the most vulnerable of the entire thing. 80-20 is the, I think, the proportion that he had also, highlighted. Most of these attacks, if you see, start with deceit. And if you take the very Ramayana, and the entire story would have stopped had Maricha not come into the picture. Yes, I'm sure you know who is Maricha, right? So Sita wanted that deer, golden deer, which was absolutely attractive. And as part of the divine play, Rama also played a part in that. But then what typically happened was, Rama went behind the deer because the lady of the house said, "No, I want it." You know what happens at home if you don't get that, right? And then when he was running behind that, and then suddenly he just heard some voices, and Sita got very worried. But Lakshmana said, "I cannot leave you alone and go." And then typically, what happened after that is, no, you must go. Otherwise, I am telling you the order, so go and fetch my, spouse. And then obviously Lakshmana didn't know what to do. He had a small security measure, the Lakshman Rekha, which he drew, right? And he said, "Don't cross this till I come back. You'll be safe inside this. It's a quarantine system. When I'm going out there, till I come back, just be inside." But you know what happened right after that. So he also ran behind that, and this lady again got very anxious, and so she had to obviously look for what it was. All part of the divine play, right? And don't think that they actually got vulnerable in this. Mother Sita knew what was happening, everything was happening, part of the avatars that they play. But then typically what happened was, the moment the lady stepped out, this is exactly what the opportunity was waiting for, and you had the hacker hijacking, which is Ravana in the form, and then you know what happened after that and the entire story, right? So a single security vulnerability led to the entire Ramayana, right? So if you really look at this entire thing, the human values, where to put your trust, how to become conscious of a risk, our impulse of handling this, ultimately all this, I think he very, very clearly pointed out. And unfortunately, if you see the least money in cybersecurity, generally, as he said, organizations don't spend money on cybersecurity. They say, when it comes, we will see. But when it comes, you may not live to see. That's the whole problem with cybersecurity. Because cybersecurity is like, it won't happen to me syndrome. Oh, next company or my colleague got scammed. You'd think, no, I am smart, won't happen to me. So if I advise you to please install an antivirus on your mobile, 300 rupees, worthless expenditure, no return on investment. And then when you get hacked and you lose all your money, then you go back and think, oh my goodness, I just spent the 300 rupees or saved 3 lakhs. This is the unfortunate, disparate thinking behind spend on cybersecurity. And the least of cybersecurity is spent on awareness. I mean, let's be clear. People are the best firewall, which he also kind of, you may put up any number of devices, but let's be understand, the device also needs configuration. Let us say you have a security person sitting, at the gate. You don't tell him whom to stop, whom not to stop, what he has to do. What will he do? Salams out to everybody, isn't it? And obviously there's a hacker who will come in, he'll give a very good salute and he'll let him in. So the consciousness of recognizing a risk also becomes a very important part of your strategy in the organization, which is where risk, risk assessment and risk management comes in as one of the key functions in GRC, governance, risk and compliance and control. Now, if you really look at this entire thing, there are whole lot of things that have to fall in place as a strategy. It is not rocket science, but it requires very simple common sense that every organization needs to employ to make sure that the entire organization thinks alike. For the hacker, one complacent employee is enough. I don't need the entire organization to be unsafe. One port which is wrongly configured on your firewall is enough. So that comes out of, unfortunately, 2 things. One, the complacency, which generally people take towards cybersecurity. The second thing is not investing efforts and money in these processes, which leads to serious kind of problems. And that's exactly where, if you see, the opportunities today lie. Our state is one of the most intellectually advanced states, as we all have been recognized worldwide. So we hold the key to the cybersecurity supply for this world. Because as Sir rightly said, the demand, the ISACA, which is one of the top organizations which deals with the various aspects of cybersecurity audit, information systems audit, etc. They have been saying that for last about couple of years, saying that there is a huge demand which is emerging for cybersecurity professionals. We don't have people. And when we say have people, what does it mean? You need a person who understands not just technology, who understands the cybercrime scenario, who understands the modus operandi, who understands also the business context of your organization and puts the right security in place. It is not simply taking some other organization policy and putting it there. You are actually inviting trouble. So there's a whole lot of aspects around cybersecurity. I would not go, to the details for the want of time, but just to tell you, number one, the challenges are going to be much more the more we go into automation. I think the last month's GST turnover, how much it was, right? The GST collections. So that's where we have crossed. And UPI, it has cost 200 trillion, right? So we are looking at phenomenal automation which is happening in this country. And at the most unexpected sectors. The pandemic proved that you need not be literate, but just digital literacy works. And that's exactly how it's happening. So we have a great future if we are conscious enough and we are not foolish to give away those opportunities. I think I'll stop here because I have my friend Sagar who will talk to you. CDAC, I have an organization I admire. I think one of the purpose of CDAC was to build out that supercomputer, I guess. Yeah, when it started. And I think, as Sir said, we are going to get into the quantum era. Quantum is completely going to change everything that we think today is foundational. So we are going to go in for a huge renaissance when it comes to cyber crime, cyber security especially, and of course a whole lot of things. We will see that happening. I think it's going to be a pace of developments which we'll have to grapple with and get ready for before it takes us over. With that, I think I'll just stop here and over to Mr. Shah. Thank you.
So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, sir. So, first of all, I would like to admit one thing, that I am too technically young to be here in front of Verma sir and other dignitaries. And I indeed am privileged to share the stage with the Verma sir and, Vittal sir. So, CDAC has been associated with Verma sir long, right? So, I can say that we have technically grown under his mentorship and his guidance, and we have deployed that, CSATN Architecture 1 in Tamilnadu State Data Center. That comprises of a SIM, a network monitoring solution, a help desk, and some other critical components. So, before we go ahead, Verma sir has already covered the incidents before Christ, since before Christ till after death, starting from Greek culture or so. And Raman sir has also, Vittal sir has also told you about the story of Sita Haran and also. So, we see the resilience as a capability of an organization where we can see it as FTF. FTF is a capability of an organization to prepared for F, respond to, here T comes, and recover from. So, we see the resilience as FTF. And if you see the example cited by Verma sir and Vittal sir, all these systems were secured But were they complied with FTF? Had Mr. Lakshman put up one of the component to the FTF, ki what if Sita Mata crosses the line? So were they prepared for? If yes, so how to respond if she crosses the line? And after that also, how to recover from? Right, so we see basically the resilience is a capability of to prepared for, respond to, and recover from to a cyber attack. So since both of them have already shared most of the things, I would like to emphasize on some of the challenges. Some of the challenges in the present cyber attacks are the threats nowadays are very sophisticated. The systems of cyber, it is a well organized structure. The cyber attack in these days are well organized structure where they just don't do it haphazardly. It is a well planned attack. So some of the challenges are the attacks are very sophisticated and complexity of systems. Users are not aware. So for an example, when logs, everybody know what logs is, since we all are from the technical background, logs. When do we check logs? Anyone? When do we usually check logs? When the system is down, right? When the system is down, it is not responding, something had happened. What the first step we do is we check the logs. My question is, why were we not checking the logs on a daily basis? See, today, information is an asset to a country and to an organization. Information is not only you have some sensitive information of other country or some other organization. No. Information is in your hand. You are storing that information, but we are sincerely not bothered to explore those kind of information. We usually go through the backlogs and check when something bad had happened. My point is, why are we not checking the logs on a daily basis to find out what is happening? This is where the first F comes. Are we prepared for? Are we prepared for? We will see how to respond. But are we prepared for? Do we know what kind of IPs are coming to me? Yes, I understand. Okay, then block the foreign IPs. Block the foreign IPs. So do you want to say that block an IP of a foreign resident who wants to deposit his electricity bill of his house which is in Chennai? Is it possible? No, you can't do that. But then how will you block the foreign IPs? This is not a feasible solution. So what is the solution? Yes, here the solution comes that why are we not checking the anomalous log? Those are coming on a daily basis, rather responding to those logs. Right? So this is our culture. This is our basic culture. We are sincerely not interested in checking the logs on a daily basis, on a live basis. Nobody is monitoring the log alerts are there. People are saying, oh, something had happened. Let us go through the log and find out why did it happen. But had it been monitored on a daily basis, we would have come to know before that this particular IP has some suspicious activity. So so many technologies are there which can support these kind of suspicious activity can be captured through anomalous logs. AI are there, MLs are there, blockchain is there. We can probably use blockchain to secure some of our financial transactions. We can use AI and ML to utilize its expertise, to find out the anomalies on a daily basis which is hitting to our server. Right? Apart from that, as Verma sir and Vittal sir has clearly brought out that the end users have to be sensitized on a very large scale. For an example, we have regulatory compliances, especially in the financial sector, sir. We have regulatory compliances. Are we complied 100% with the regulatory compliances laid down to be followed? The answer is no. Why? Because most of the things we get it done from our local network administrator. I have to check my website if it is working properly or not. Can you please open port 80? Right? We do that. We do that. We very sweetly approach our network administrator and request him, boss, can you for 5 minutes, can you please open port 80 so that I can get my website challenge mechanism to be completed. He on a very goodwill basis opens the port 80. Right? I am getting in a little technical detail. Right? So he opens the port. I'm sure that you people are able to understand what I am up to. He opens the port 80. Right? But do you know that 80 is so vulnerable? Opening port 80 is so vulnerable for any possible attacks. So this is just a use case where I want to emphasize on a point that sectors, critical sectors like financial sectors, defense, manufacturing, energy, power, nuclear. Those are the sectors where we cannot afford to have these kind of breaches in the regulatory compliances. Regulatory compliances are laid down to be followed in order to secure our systems. Those are prone to cyber attacks. Now, this is not the time when, any nation is looking for a war. They are looking for a, typical cyber war, where how it affects them. Where I will hack your financial system, I will delete the 10 years of data from the financial system of yours. You are back to 10 years. You are 10 years back. Right? So this is how the people are, how the hackers are attacking to a nation. So this is not the nuclear warfare. They hack your system and it is gone. It is over. So now we have to look the cyber resilience in the aspects, or as sir has very clearly brought out, that attacks will happen. You cannot stop attack. As I've already said, that it is an organized process. It is an organized process. This is not something that somebody on a fine day wakes up and attacks somebody. No. It's an organized process which cannot be stopped. So you cannot expect a foolproof system. What you can do to be resilient is you can prepare your system. You can, how prepared you are, how to respond if XYZ happens, and how will you recover if the damage is done. So possible solutions are most of the sensitive informations which is not necessarily to be accessed by the common citizens. Why are we putting it up on internet? If you see the defense sectors, the network infrastructure, they have two kind of network infrastructure. One is internet, another is intranet. You might be surprised, those who are not aware, you might be surprised, and maybe Group Captain Vijay Kumar sir will endorse it, that they have a specific lease line throughout the country for their intranet system, let it be Army, Navy or Air Force, anything. They have internet system only for ticket bookings. Only for ticket bookings. Right? So that also implies we are not supposed to put up the sensitive information for the public use. Keep as much as information you want to hold on an intranet system for the intra-departmental usages. Why are we exposing it when it is not supposed to be? Point number 2, do we have backup systems? And you might be aware of Snowden. Post Snowden, it was clearly revealed that the usage of proprietary systems are not advisable. So that's why CDAC has come up with its own. CDAC completely works on the open source solutions, where you are aware what is there inside the code and what all kind of vulnerabilities your solution may be prone to. Right? You are using Windows. You are just clicking, I agree and accept the terms and condition. What for? What for? I'm not endorsing Linux. I'm not against any proprietary software, but this is what the ground reality is. Post Snowden, it was very clearly revealed that most of the Cisco systems or Cisco network routers and all, they were passing the information through the border sharing countries, where the Linux and open source came to the picture, where you know what the contents you are dealing with, what is the process you are dealing with, which is totally in a black box in the proprietary softwares, where you are not aware except what they ask you to read and say, I accept. However, the open source systems are not like that. Being a developer, I know how to, dig out to the code and find out where the vulnerabilities are. Another point is we are only sincerely interested to address top 10 OWASP vulnerabilities. But why? There are NIST frameworks, which is a very wide framework which tells you very clearly what all regulatory compliances your system should have. But we only are concerned and interested, my website should get VAPT cleared. But no, despite VAPT being cleared, are you sure that it will not be prone to any cyber attack? No, you cannot be. So it's totally up to us how good resilient system we make, rather than depending on some third party auditor to come and tell you that boss, these are the vulnerabilities. We should start it from the beginning of the process itself, right? And with all these things, I think we have almost the time. So thank you so much for this opportunity, sir. Thank you all. You have been a wonderful audience. Thank you.
I'm sure we can go on and on. There's so much to talk and so much to discuss and a lot of technical insights. But honestly, there is lot of hidden risks and challenges and how to really manage that Mr. Sagar had raised. So I think I'm sure those of you on the tech side would have certainly appreciated that. Now going on to the interesting session of Q&A. As usual, there is a flood of questions, but obviously in the interest of time, we'll be able to take and combine certain questions together. I hope that should be fine, which is well understood. So I think the first question, which possibly to Anshrat sir, how do you perceive the intersection between cyber resilience and industrial investment projects, and what strategies has TIIC adopted to mitigate cyber risks in infrastructure development? This is from Mr. R. Chennai.
Now, TIIC is a pure play financial institution. We have huge quantum of confidential data of our customers. Their land records, their CIBIL scores, CMR scores, property statements, bank statements. As trustees of this big data, it is incumbent upon us to secure this data. So the biggest challenge we're going to face and implement is ensuring that our IT systems are not prey or fall victim to ransomware attack. So this is where our TIIC's intel strategy is for securing the confidential data. As regards the other big ticket investment projects in Tamil Nadu, the respective institutions, investors and companies have their own respective cyber resilience systems.
On to the next question. I think, in fact, he spoke about the important aspects that every organization looks to, and especially in his position, you can see the importance of cybersecurity. That's certainly happening across the government organizations. I think we have a question for Mr. Sagar, which is with regard to, just read this one. So this says, given your experience at CDAC Chennai, what cutting edge technologies or research initiatives do you believe would hold promise for enhancing cyber resilience within infrastructure and financial sectors, and how can organizations leverage on these advancements?
Hello. So, as we have brought up already, that the cutting edge technologies, what we use currently is AI and ML. ML can be used to find the anomalies. You know, you can restructure your code, you can educate your code basically. The code what you are writing, you can educate your code through machine learning to find out the anomalies, right? Rather you sitting checking the logs on a live basis, you better have an alert system. You define, for an example, CDAC is very well into the computer-based examination system. And now it is a very renowned name for the computer-based examination system in the country. We conduct CBEs for Indian Navy, Indian Coast Guard, Indian Air Forces, right? We have come up with a solution where a candidate who is sitting in front of the system, there has not been any activity since last 1 hour. Given the total exam duration is 1 hour 20 minutes, and suddenly you find enormous activity in his system. So we have come up with a solution which gives me an alert that will be forwarded to the CI, means the chief invigilator of that examination center. Hall ticket so and so, sitting at place so and so. It is found to be an anomalous activity. Then you can go and check what kind of activity is going on. So rather waiting for, again I bring out the same point. First of all, we have a habit of checking the logs after the incident. No. So we have to check the logs on a live and a daily basis. Secondly, the question is, do you want me to sit throughout the day and check the logs? No. My response to this is that I want to make a system with the technology which includes ML and AI, which will educate not the user, which will educate the code to find out what anomaly you are getting on a daily basis. Let it be a cyber system, let it be a standalone system on internet or intranet. I do not need to sit in front of the system to find out the anomalies. The system should be very well versed enough to generate an alert and alarm me in case of any anomaly is found. Right? So I hope this answers the questions.
Thanks, Mr. Sagar. In fact, on the same lines, there was just one more question to me saying that how does blockchain and AI really transform the cybersecurity space, and how do you look at the future of this happening? Maybe you just want to add a line on that.
Yeah, basically as I told, ML we have already included. AI is currently being used to, in industry 4.0 systems, right? Where we are using AI for not only for cyber resilience, for other IoT based systems, right? We can leverage AI in such a way. There are two parts. ML is to find the anomalies, and AI is how to leverage the output of ML and transforming into an fructified efforts to send an alarm to an end user or to the stakeholders involved in. Let it be a cybersecurity platform or let it be any other IT or ITES platform.
Also, a specific question to me on the same front saying that how do you think that AI and blockchain are already playing enhancing roles with regard to cyber resilience? Let us please understand one thing, that when we talk about resilience, it is about an organization which could be attacked, but the customer doesn't even know something has happened like that. So which means that you're able to carry on with your business without a flutter, in spite of you are at the back end, you are managing those attacks, and you have the necessary, people process technologies that will take care of that. And in this space, let me tell you that AI is playing a huge role. Let us take a very simple thing like what are the fraud patterns? AI plays a significant role. In fact, the banks use it very significantly in terms of identifying fraud patterns and suspicious transactions, because humanly it is very difficult to put all the vectors and identify which could be the suspicious scenarios. But AI does a brilliant job around that. Of course, you need to train those systems. You have to understand that AI is something like you teach your kid to the system. So you have to make sure you are building in enough knowledge into that. So AI is, I think there is no future of cybersecurity in AI, and the entire lead is taken by cyber criminals. They use the maximum of AI today. deepfakes and whatever we see today, and how do they target you as an attack? All this comes from the significant AI exercise. And today, fraud comes as a service, like your SaaS. So, crime as a service is very popular. They are brilliant in giving you the kind of support to hack every organization in the world. And mind you, they don't even charge you a fee sometimes, right? So that's the kind of community you have to learn the philosophy from them. And how do you get together, as Mr. Verma was saying, the important thing of collaboration. You have to learn from hackers, the way they work in a very unified manner. There are lessons for us there. That's where it is. And that's how they make use of these technologies. Blockchain, especially in access control, already blockchain is being used significantly in terms of any manipulation to data. Of course, that's where the entire, if you really look at blockchain's employment in the ledgers and etc., that's already happening. So yes, I think blockchain as well as AI are going to play a huge role. It's already happening. But yes, there are also problems around blockchain and all, because we really look at the efficiency and how do you handle growth of volumes and all. There are questions which we still, but that's where I think quantum will give us the answers.
In fact, sir, we had a POC with the government of Pondicherry, where for this land record management system also, we already had a POC with government of Pondicherry using this blockchain technology. So it is actually that you can say ki blockchain technologies can be useful for the resilience, but not in all the domains. But one has to be very much, capable and have the expertise in order to leverage, the power and the, salience of blockchain to get its full usage.
Honestly, there are some brilliant questions, but unfortunately time is a constraint. We will be able to take only a couple of those questions, and I hope I have your understanding on that. Just this one question is with regard to the impact of regulatory changes, compliance requirements on cyber resilience strategies within the organization and the financial sectors and the sectors that we talked about, as well as the role of the collaboration between public, private section, the police, etc. Let me tell you, amongst many of the countries, we certainly are working on it as a country, as Mr. Verma also highlighted, and I think that was also pointed out with regard Mr. Sagar on how this public-private partnerships really works. And CDAC itself is a very simple example. If you go to their website and the number of products, the innovations that they have had over time is brilliant, right? And if you go to the West, they'll charge you a bomb for that kind of research. And we have dedicated scientists who are working on this day and night. And you can imagine what would be happening on the defense side. So if this is what it is, CDAC also works on the defense side. There is a whole lot of innovation that is happening. And I'm sure you know many of the police today employ artificial intelligence enabled cameras to recognize faces, match it automatically with the crime records. Within no matter of time, you can catch a criminal. All that is happening in a very big way. Your challans, if you jump a signal, in many of the cities, you'll find the challan is already there in your mobile by the time you jump the signal, right? So that's all there. So it ensures a lot of, making sure that we bring in a lot of, compliance with the legal laws and all. Sir, I have one more question which is addressed to you. How do you suggest organizations address the human factor in cyber resilience, including raising awareness, training employees, and fostering a culture of security, especially within highly regulated environments?
Simple. Spend your top dollar on your HR. Tap all the government agencies for the training programs. All have got huge resources with them, like to share with you. Example, I tell you, ISAC, they're going to start their cohort program in partnership with IIT Gandhinagar in July. Please join this program. You'll come out after the 18th program as a certified national cybersecurity scholar. This will give the perspective on cybersecurity, your place in the things, it'll add value to you. It'll give a new dimension on cybersecurity and add value to you as cybersecurity professional?
That's coming direct from the horse's mouth. Right. There is one question to me, Mr. Rajendran, on is RBI really guiding the banks to improve their cybersecurity resilience or only monitoring them? I've had the privilege of working with RBI on the Standing Committee on Cybersecurity, and I can tell you, even when I entered at that time, I didn't know how a government organization works. But let me tell you, there are some brilliant minds and very dedicated people who are there in RBI. And let me tell you, if we are feeling safe compared to the number of attacks, to the volume of our economy and the banking system, it is minuscule as compared to many of the other countries. I can tell you that. And all that is because of the silent work that organizations like RBI do. In fact, there is significant amount of consultation. It is not just monitoring, because while the C site is there, we are looking at now automated attacks being launched on banks on a surprise basis, which is going to come somewhere in the future, wherein we are going to look at banks have to be on their heels. And as you know, RBI already penalizes many of the banks for not putting their security in shape. There are no mincing of words at RBI. The MDs and the chairmen get called at any point in time, and let me tell you, they are pretty clear with their business. And so, yes, you can be rest assured, sir, that RBI, IDRBT, the C side do a magnificent job. The Revit is one arm which got added, as you might be aware, which is the fully owned subsidiary of RBI, and that was to handle the challenge of not able to get young blood, especially when it comes to the technology side, and also retain them. So that's a kind of organization doesn't work on the employee structure of RBI, but it is pre-organization. So you have the combination of the best of brains as well as this happening. So yes, rest assured that it is in safe hands. Not only that, I also work with the insurance sector. Insurance sector also has been doing tremendous amount. IRDA has been, as you might have seen, the number of cybersecurity policies and the initiatives are significant over time. So there is one question for Mr. Sagar, which is with regard to the BOSS, the Bharat, operating system, which was supposed to be the competition to Windows and all, and it was a pet project of Dr. Abdul Kalam as well. So
So first of all, let me clarify that Windows is not our competitor. Our competitor is the similar Linux-based operating system. I know Windows cannot be our competitor. Reason is very clear. In Windows, you see only .exe files. I am telling you a little technical this thing. In Windows, you see only .exe files, which you know only to double click, right? You can't open to see that. It's a machine code, right? In Linux, I don't have that problem. This is the first thing. Windows is not our competitor. Our competitor is a similar Linux-based distribution. Question number 2. That why it has not been marketed. So first of all, CDAC is a non-profit organization. So this BOSS operating system is available for the normal usage of general public. Now point number 3. BOSS is CDAC Chennai specifically has been designated as National Resource Center for Free and Open Source Software, NRC FOSS. The vision and the objective of this NRC FOSS is to bridge the gap, technologically wise, among the people, right? Now the point is, when I say free and open source software, that means free in speech, not in beer. Means I will give you free, BOSS is free. However, specific strategic sectors like defense, IT, where you want me to customize and make it more secure as per your need, I charge a very minimal and optimized amount to the government sectors. So the only submission to this question is why it has not been marketed, because it is CDAC being a non-profit organization and BOSS is anyways free to all. So there is we don't see any, specific potential in marketing this thing. Before that, there was a question on the regulatory compliances. In European country, the European government has imposed such stringent regulatory compliances for the financial sectors.
If they don't meet their regulatory compliances, there are hefty fines for that. So, sir, this can also be an addition where we need to make it stringent. They are not able to achieve code wise. That is the problem. But if you don't meet it, there are hefty fines for that. So this is one of the measures what an organization or a country can take in order to be more cyber resilient.
Thanks for that. There's an interesting question to say, what are the cybersecurity training and awareness programs available for stock exchange staff and traders? As I told you, SEBI has very specific circulars on what kind of cybersecurity measures for every class of intermediaries. So it is by class of intermediaries. It also requires an audit. Not only that, I'm sure you heard about the NISM, the National Institute of Security Management, and that is a very important body which is set up under the auspices of SEBI, and that completely trains on various aspects of not just cybersecurity, various aspects of technology and related aspects in the securities vertical, trading vertical. So if you really look at it, you could find quite a lot of programs which come from NISM. Not only that, IIT has an excellent site, SWAYAM and all. There are a lot of free programs on cybersecurity awareness that they also do. But if you're looking at focused programs for the sector, I think I would suggest you may want to take a look at NISM as such. So I think the next question, Mr. Sagar. Yes, so this will be the last question. What are the most critical cyber threats facing the infrastructure and financial sectors today, and how do you recommend organizations prioritize their response efforts?
No, see, you cannot quantify them. Again, I told there are some. You open the website of OWASP. There will be always top 10 vulnerabilities. They keep going up and down based on their, the trend, based on their trends, right? So you cannot quantify the severity of the threats, or you cannot predict the threat. If you know the threat, then you are already secured your system, right? However, as I told that, there should be an access control system, regulatory compliances in place in order to secure your cyber related systems, right? So you cannot predict the threats.
I must confess that I could not do justice to all the questions, because thank you for all the good questions that have been coming in. But yes, time is something which governs us, so we are reaching the end of this thing. But just to say that I think from these interactions, I hope it has given you some sense of what's actually happening at the ground level. So it's not just as if we are not doing anything as a country. A lot of good things happening. And let me also tell you that where we need to really wake up is, as Srivastava said, the security doesn't just stop with some people in the organization alone thinking, sitting at the boardrooms. It's certainly not there. Because let's be clear, the hacker targets that one user who is not serious about security. And that's enough to entire your organization. The case of some of these banks that got hacked is enough, because in spite of doing their best in security, just one loophole there is a 112-year-old bank, a cooperative bank, which lost 94 crores of rupees. And just in a matter of 3 days, and out of the maximum money was taken out in 5 hours, with across 28 countries, 12,000 cards being used across ATMs, and the kind of coordination you cannot imagine. I think there are very clear lessons from hackers to us. Better wake up and take cybersecurity seriously. I think that's pretty clear. With that, I think I just end this and pass the baton back to Group Captain. For the
Thank you, sir. We can carry on. We can go on. We have over 600 viewers watching this program, because when you have a large number of people online, if we cross the timing, they all log out on that. That's the reason. The number of questions have come, and I think, ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause to our distinguished chief guest in the panel for a lovely evening. Now, I request Mr. Suresh Raman, please do us the honor of presenting the memento. And also, Vaidyanathan, who is President TIIC, also joined us. Please come and join us on the stage for presenting the memento to the dignitaries. Please come, sir. Rajendran, you can also join us. Mr. Rajendran, come join us on stage, because they're all partners for the event today. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks also, Mrs. Verma, for joining us this evening. Your presence is very, very gracefully acknowledged. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Till we meet again.